Two terrestrial environments. Environmental scientists know a lot about Earth's environments. There are aquatic environments and terrestrial environments. Terrestrial refers to Earth's land. There are six major terrestrial environments in the world. They are tropical rainforest, desert, temperate deciduous forest, grassland, taiga, and tundra. Each environment can be described in terms of environmental factors. Environmental factors are living and non-living parts of the environment. The living parts of an environment are all the plants and animals that live and thrive in that place. The main non-living components that define the six environments are temperature, rainfall, and soil type. The tropical rainforest environment is different from the desert environment. The tropical rainforest is hot and wet, and the soil is poor because it lacks nutrients. The desert environment is dry and sandy. Most deserts are hot, but some are cold. Let's take a closer look at these two terrestrial environments and compare the living and non-living environmental factors. Take a look at this picture right here. Tropical rainforest versus a desert. Living factors in tropical rainforests. Tropical rainforests are home to more kinds of life than any other terrestrial environment. At least half of all the different kinds of plants and animals in the world live in tropical rainforests. Tropical rainforests are also the winter homes for many birds that live in other places the rest of the year. Life in the rainforest can be divided into layers. Each layer has different plants and animals. Most of the tropical rainforest plants are trees. They grow to heights of 20 to 30 meters. Because the trees grow very close to one another, their tops grow together. This forms a broad canopy or roof above the rainforest. The highest layer in the rainforest is the canopy. There is a lot of sunlight in the canopy layer. This is where most of the rainforest animals live. Monkeys, sloths, and bats spend most of their time here. Tree frogs and snakes live in the treetops along with toucans, hummingbirds, ants, and beetles. These are just a few of the millions of different kinds of animals that live in the canopy. Orchids, ferns, and other air plants grow on the branches of the canopy trees. Air plants use the trees for support and get water from the falling rain. The layer below the canopy is the understory. Very little sunlight makes it through the canopy to the understory. It is a dark place full of tree trunks, young thin trees, and broad-leaf plants that thrive in shady conditions. A number of these plants are popular houseplants in the United States. The animals living in this layer include jaguars, leopards, frogs, snakes, parakeets, and many kinds of insects. The bottom layer is the forest floor. The forest floor is often covered with moss and wet leaves. Almost no sunlight makes it to the floor. This is where centipedes and scorpions live. Many insects, such as termites, ants, cockroaches, and beetles also live here. Earthworms and fungi use the dead leaves as food. Larger animals, such as tapirs, dig up roots in the forest floor. Take a look over here. Based off of what we read, can you identify the tapir, frog, and sloth? Try. Up here in the canopy is the sloth. Look at all that sunlight getting through. Here's the frog in the understory. And at the forest floor, it looks like we have our tapir. Very good. Living factors in deserts. Some people think of deserts as hot, dry wastelands. That can be true sometimes. In areas of shifting sand where it never rains and strong winds blow, such as parts of the Sahara Desert in Africa, plants and animals are rare. But deserts have area that gets some water, and those areas are full of life. Fewer kinds of plants and animals live in deserts than in wetter environments. Desert plants and animals have structures and behaviors that help them survive in a dry environment. You can see plants and animals with these adaptations in parts of the deserts found in the southwestern United States. Look at the desert in the Sahara Desert. No plants or animals. Look right here in the southwest part of the US. Looks a little different, doesn't it? Let's continue reading. In deserts, some plants grow far apart. Their root systems spread over a large area. This distance lets them get water and nutrients without competition from other plants. Some desert plants, such as the mesquite tree, send their roots deep into the desert soil. Mesquite tree roots might go down 81 meters to reach water. Cacti store water in their broad, fleshy blades or columns, which are actually stems. They use the stored water during dry periods. Cacti don't have leaves, but they do have spines. The seeds of some desert plants can lie in the soil for years until it rains enough for them to sprout. Animals survive well in the southwest deserts. Insects, spiders, reptiles, birds, and mammals, such as bighorn sheep, live in deserts. Many desert animals are nocturnal. Do you know what nocturnal means? Nocturnal animals avoid the heat by coming out only at night. Desert tortoises are comfortable in the desert. They dig deep burrows. When it is too hot or too cold, they have a safe place to stay. Tortoises eat many kinds of plants, especially flowers and fruits. Sometimes they will even eat the moist pads of cactus plants. Tortoises drink a lot of water when they can and store it in their bladders. There's a mammal, the bighorn sheep, tortoise that digs its burrows, another animal. They're nocturnal, meaning that they come out at night so they can avoid the heat. Let's keep reading. Spadefoot toads are amphibians. That means they have to reproduce in water. Is a desert a good place for them to live? Yes, because they have a behavior to help them survive. When the weather is hot and dry, the toads burrow about a meter underground. They can stay there for up to 9 months. They become dormant and live on the fat stored in their bodies. When it rains, spadefoot toads leave their burrows and find mates. The females lay eggs in rain puddles. The eggs soon hatch into tadpoles. The tadpoles grow into young toads. The young toads have to become adults before the puddles dry up or they will die. We just went over a life cycle, boys and girls. Be thinking about that. It's going to help us in our investigation. In a couple of months, the adult toads burrow into the ground and wait for next year's rain. Every desert plant and animal has structures and behaviors that allow it to survive and thrive in the hot, dry desert. Non-living factors in rainforests. Look at the map to see where the tropical rainforests are on Earth. Can you find ones in Australia, in Asia, in Africa, in Central America, in South America? Where else are there tropical rainforests? Find the line that shows the equator. Tropical rainforests are found near the equator. So here we have a map. We need to see if there's a title. We need to use our key, see if there's a compass rose. Looks like there's just a key, but it says green equals tropical rainforest. Oh, okay, I can see. We have some in North America right here. We definitely have some in South America right here. Africa. I don't really see any in Europe. I definitely see some in Asia. And the equator, this line that goes through the middle. There we go. Tropical rainforests are wet and hot all year. The rainfall in rainforests is about 200 to 450 centimeters per year. How does that compare to where you live? Here are average rainfalls for 5 cities in the United States. Take a look at this. Have you been to any of these places? Any of these states? The rainforest soil is shallow and not very fertile. Most of the nutrients that plants need to survive are in the trees. If the trees are cut down and taken away, the nutrients are lost to the rainforest environment. This is why it takes a long time for tropical rainforests to grow back once they are destroyed. Non-living factors in deserts. Scientists define a desert environment as any place on Earth that receives less than 25 centimeters of rain per year. Soils are rocky or sandy in deserts. Water runs off the land quickly and sinks into the sand. Water evaporates or dries up quickly in the desert. Most of the small amount of water that does fall on the desert is lost before plants and animals can get to it. Look at the map to see where deserts are on Earth. Just like we did in the rainforest, see if you can find the deserts. Use your map key. Deserts are the hottest places on Earth during the summer, but during the winter, the temperatures can drop below freezing. Snow is seen regularly in parts of deserts in Southern California, China, and South America. Wow, they get snow in deserts. About 20% of Earth's land surface is desert. The small amount of rain, high temperatures, and large temperature changes from season to season make life challenging in the desert. Here's an example of a desert that has snow. All right, here are our last questions, boys and girls. Thinking about environmental factors. What are the environmental factors that define a tropical rainforest environment? What are the environmental factors that define a desert environment? What are some of the structures and behaviors that help organisms survive in the desert? Pause the video and answer these questions.